Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your T-shirted historian. Welcome to 2026, the year of the fire horse. What does that actually mean for us? Well, we have some interesting movies on the release schedule. We're going to go over those. I'm looking forward to some of the anime that's coming out in 2026. I'm also kind of annoyed that some of the anime I really want to see hasn't been finished yet. I mean, I don't know what's taking these studios so long. I mean, maybe it's just me, but if I had a show that was pretty much a license to print money because people loved it so much, and you had a good enough of a lead on the story that you could put out, one season after another every year, I'd be jumping all over that. But for whatever reason, it seems to take these studios years between shows. I mean, it's like Campfire Cooking in Another World Season 2. It's like it took almost like 3 or 4 years before they put out a new one. Goblin Slayer 1 and 2 had a long wait time as well. They just announced that they're working on Dungeon Meshi 2, which is kind of like, okay, but the first Dungeon Meshi came out like a couple of years ago already. So how come we're not piling on top of this thing to get it out there? Because people love this. I don't understand studios. I don't understand the studio system. I don't understand the way that people choose properties to market. I don't know what the feeling is. I think people just sit in a boardroom and they've never viewed any of these products whatsoever. They have no idea what any of this stuff is about. They're just looking at numbers and listening to whatever yes man is in there rattling off numbers. And that's how they make their decisions on what to green light or, what to put in the pipeline next. I mean, what kind of world do we live in when they consider Rey from the Star Wars stories to be their biggest commodity, their biggest property, their biggest selling property for Star Wars? Clearly, nobody making the decisions at Disney and LucasArts has actually watched any of those films. They've never watched any of those shows or anything else. The only thing Rey has going for her as far as a character in Star Wars is they haven't made any movies since her last one. And of course, those movies made tons of money. The first, Force Awakens, of course that was going to make a ton of money. That was a guaranteed blockbuster. It's been 10 years since we had a Star Wars. So let's put a new Star Wars movie out. Oh, and we'll put J.J. Abrams on it. This ought to be wonderful. So of course it made billions. Then the second one came out. Didn't quite get as much money. And of course it divided the fan base. So by the time the third one came out, it didn't get nearly as much as the second or the first. But in terms of billions of dollars, they made more money than, say, Andor season 1 or 2 for Disney. So it's just people at the top getting bad numbers and bad information from just pure digital sources or from just straight up coding. It's kind of like I almost kind of feel like they need to have the caveat, Rey is your top character from a certain point of view. Because I guarantee you, the fan base ain't a Rey fan base. But I don't know, man. You know, some people have to piss on the electric fence, get shocked, and find out for themselves. And I'm perfectly happy with Disney continuing to do that. What do I think of the upcoming Avengers Doomsday movie? I don't know, man. I have seen the cast list. I've seen all the little snippet teasers and things. I really want to believe it's good. I really want to believe that it's going to be, you know, a new direction for the Marvel superhero saga, the MCU. But from listening to what other folks have had to say about it and reading the data and my own personal opinion, I think it's going to be a great big, ultra hyped cameo fest because they got way too many characters in that movie. Way too many characters. There's no way they can possibly give enough meaningful screen time and presence to every single character that is going to be in that movie. It's just not possible. And I know they're already leaking stuff like, oh, well, the runtime on Avengers Doomsday is going to be 3 hours and 52 minutes. Fantastic. I'll probably have to get up to pee twice during that film and miss something. Will I miss my favorite character's cameo? I might, because they keep teasing that the Punisher is going to come back. I don't even know if the Punisher's my favorite character anymore. After what they've done to him in the comics, it was so irreparably bad. I don't think I can go back to reading him anymore. I just feel that bad about it. I feel like right now he's in the hands of people who absolutely hate him and are begrudgingly writing comic books for him because it makes money. I'm just not comfortable. I would prefer them to absolutely, completely level and fire every single fucker at Marvel who worked between 2000 and present day. Just get rid of every single one of those sons of bitches. They obviously drove Marvel Comics into the shit pile. Get rid of all of them. Get brand new people on who aren't diversity hires, who actually like comics, who like to draw and can draw competently, who want to write good stories for comics, who actually see comics as what they are, which is our medium of mythical storytelling. I know. I sound like Mr. Glass when I say that, but he's right. We don't have stories about, you know, gods like Zeus and Thor and some of the other ones, you know, the Babylonian guys and all that. I can't remember their names right now. It's not important. Point is, we are constantly tearing down the heroes that we already have. Right? It's like every time somebody is hailed as a hero, immediately, you know, the media or, you know, people who are investigating find out, oh, well, yeah, this guy ran into a burning building and he saved 4 children and a dog. However, that guy is a sex offender. See, and then you see what happens. We are always moving towards the negative spin on any hero. It's like, okay, this guy went out and killed like a whole bunch of Nazis back in World War II. However, he went back home and he was a wife beater. And I know these kind of things happen. People are people. People are complicated. People are messed up. It happens. But the point is, if we're so busy tearing down our heroes for whatever reason, it's up to us to try to continue to create heroes to look up to. Which is one of the reasons why I don't like the deconstructionism It's one of the reasons why Superman keeps failing. Because Superman is the greatest hero in comic books. He's the one ideal everyone should be looking up to. And yet, everything that's come out about him has been deconstructive, has torn him down. He's been cucked in his own movie. He was playing second fiddle in his own movie. And when you can do that to the biggest hero in comic books, the guy who ostensibly stands above all other heroes in comic books, Marvel or DC, then there's no hero that could ever measure up. But still, I think comic books are an important part of our shared mythology. You can point out Spider-Man and people know who that is. You can point out Superman, they know who that is. You can point out Batman, they know who that is. You point out the Punisher, some of us know who he is. But that's not the point. The point is, those are templates and archetypes for heroes that we all would like to aspire to be. And I think that's important because there's a lot of hopelessness in this world right now. There's a lot of sad things. There's a lot of bad things going on. And I'm not going to get into all the politics of it. I'm just saying our escape is more important now than ever. Our ability to disconnect from the shit this world throws at us. Our ability to take a couple of hours of our lives and just go somewhere else mentally. Whether it's a video game or a new anime or a new game to enjoy with friends or you name it, whatever you like. That is important. That's more important now for our mental health as a species. Because if you just drown yourself in reality, I guarantee you're not going to be in a great space mentally. But anyway, I'm not trying to drag the conversation down, guys. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm actually trying to emphasize the positive, that we need to be looking forward to things. I hope we can. I hope there's some great stuff to look forward to. And I'm going to show you some stuff today that we have to look forward to. And I hope you like it. All right, let's get our guests on. Well, I should say our panelists. Mr. Grimm, Mr. Castor.
Hello.
I imagine you guys were in the back probably going, ooh, I want to comment on that. Go ahead. I know Castor was.
I mean, the reality is, actually, I was just kind of starting to look over the upcoming movies, and I'm like, I found one or two little things that had a, but I think there's sort of a fundamental issue in how we've kind of come to expect any of the properties to remain.
You're a little choppy.
Uh-oh.
You're kind of choppy, my friend.
Uh-oh. I don't know what I can do about that.
That sounds better right there.
But I think there's an issue in sort of expecting some of these properties to remain the same and yet still continue to push on as though they are a rock that is unmoving, unchanging. And the reality is the world that we are in does change around them. And so you have these eras that come and go where you get these properties that do better. I mean, we're sort of going into a phase where I feel like there's more need, more desire for that sort of noble, bright sort of storytelling and heroics, as opposed to the grim darkness, the nihilism that we've become so accustomed to. So I think there's also an issue with that, and the fact that other properties need to come along and take their places. We don't need just a new character picking up the mantle of the existing property.
Yeah.
We need stuff to be able to replace these things, let things fade into the background, and be put to rest for a time.
Yeah. Now, go ahead.
I think part of the problem is characters not responding to the changes in the world around them. Instead, what we get is a reboot, a redo. So you have an abrupt chop between how the character was and now how they are now, rather than sort of a character development arc where they begin to respond to stuff that's changing in the way you want to tell stories or in the way the world is, or whatever. So it's jarring when it happens rather than being a smooth evolution. I think one comic that has done this really well is actually Judge Dredd, because they haven't rebooted him or changed him. He has rather sort of matured and developed as a character and gained more depth rather than just being a kind of fascist bully boy cop. He's become deeper over time and more developed as the audience has become more mature and developed. But a lot of things I see is just, well, let's reboot the whole comics line yet again and do a completely new spin on these characters.
Which in itself is partially, there is sort of the capitalistic idea there in place. We could all certainly point to corporations holding on to these existing characters and wanting to always keep hitting the same bell over and over. It's time for a new Batman. It's time for a new Spider-Man. We're going to keep hitting this thing rather than daring to take those risks. And so they wound up trying to take that existing character and shape it into a new mold.
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you guys even agree with me that comic books, especially manga at this point too, are really kind of like our modern shared myth, our mythology, I should say?
Grant Morrison would agree with you.
Yeah, well, of course he would.
Read Super Gods.
He's a kook. He's a kook, though.
Oh, certainly. No, I do think you're right there, though, that certain properties have been able to go on and take on a whole life beyond themselves. You look at the way people hold up the Alien and the Predator as being these huge, boogeyman monsters that are out there, when we have, maybe 10 movies between the two of them, yet they've gone on to become a couple of the most iconic monsters out there.
Oh, yeah. I credit that largely with Dark Horse, because Dark Horse got the license for Terminator, Predator, Alien way, way, way back, and they just kept churning out comic books and new stories and new myths for everyone to enjoy. And I kind of think they kept that property alive between movies, all three of those properties.
I think the reason that they constantly return to Superman and Batman and keep trying different things is because they really embody two really powerful archetypes that you find throughout history and mythology. The Sun King or the Sun Hero, and it's usually a goddess of the night who is also vengeance and those things. So Batman is weirdly a more feminine archetype, but you keep coming back to them. I think Warren Ellis made it quite upfront text rather than subtext with Apollo and Midnighter.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure how well that stuff's been handled in recent years. I haven't seen
any of the newer stuff for that, so I couldn't tell you. But the original stuff was great.
Yeah,
I did go to my comic shop this week and picked up my stuff that was piling up.
Oh, well, that's a good opportunity for us to do a little show and tell here. Transformers.
It is one of those evergreen titles that, fundamentally, there's one thing we want to see out of it. We want to see, a couple of big robots fighting each other. So I got 26 and 27 here.
Just a ding, it'll buff out.
And the funny thing is, you wouldn't... It feels weird to say, but Transformers is just consistently one of the best comics that are out there on the shops right now. If I'm going to recommend any one book to people, not necessarily Marvel or DC, it's Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had the writer for the last 2 years step down, and it got taken over by Robert Kirkman, who's now the writer on the book.
Kirkman ain't bad whenever he wants to do something good. Yeah. Hey, Mercurius.
The Transformers and G.I. Joe comics were always way better than they had any right to be.
They were.
Right from back in the day.
They were. I mean, I credit the comic books for keeping the GI Joe toy line alive as long as it did, because Larry Hama doing GI Joe, man, that took it way beyond the realm of just toys. Not only that, but some of his creations actually ended up becoming toys themselves, like the Baroness.
I am just now finding out we're getting a Thundar the Barbarian comic. Nice. Grim, I wonder if they're going to stay true to the series Bible.
It's Jason Aaron, though, so...
We shall see. That reminds me, I need to get around to doing my video on Thunder. DVDs keep glaring at me.
Hey, let me in on that one, too, because I like Thundar. Oh, gotcha, man. You know who's going to be happy to see that is our friend Clyde.
And
I finally got around to playing Chroma Squad, and it is as good as people said. It's good fun.
Chrono Squad? Is that the one
Chroma
with
Squad.
What is that?
You play a studio that is making a Sentai series.
Oh, wow. You got to send me the link for that. Yes, yeah. Titan Comics Conan. Clyde just got the what do you call it? The big Titan book of Solomon Kane. He says this is really good. So, but he said he showed me all the Conan ones too.
I quite enjoyed what I had read of the Solomon Kane, but honestly, I think there was a little 4-issue miniseries for Gotcha Man where Katze Berg got his own little 4-issue story to it. It was one of the better villain-oriented stories I've read in a while.
Katze is a really interesting character anyway. I mean, they kind of reduced his part to pretty simple villain in the American series, but yeah, when you get to the Japanese series and you find out about Shim, did I just spoil that for you guys? It gets more interesting.
That's going to require people to actually have not only in 2026 have seen Gotcha Man or Science Team Ninja Force, but to also then have also gone and seen the Japanese version. It's like Voltron 2026.
Yeah, I have the Japanese version and the American version here. I just need to sit down and actually watch them. Actually, I'm more interested in finding Gatchaman 2. That's hard as hell to find, or they're super expensive. But
my point there being, a lot of the stuff is, yes, 80s stuff, but it's also not on the main well-beaten path of 80s nostalgia. Yes, there is a fan base for these things, but it's not like going back and watching Transformers. It's more out of the way. It's more niche of a title.
Oh, Hyde Street. That sounds like something that Grimm would pick up in a moment. Actually, all those do. Geiger, Redcoat, they do.
Oh, yeah, I've heard good stuff about Redcoat.
Yeah, I'll have to check some of that out. It may actually be time to start reading comic books again, but probably not from the big two still. Well, I don't know if I'm going to get into Punisher.
I would say at this point, don't really bother with the main two. Although the funny thing I've been hearing is some rumblings and talks about how DC might be ready to overtake Marvel in the comics already again. In fact, Aquaman is actually a really good book right now. If you're going to pick anything up,
that doesn't sound like that would be that difficult because most of the Marvel titles have been floundering under bad decisions and Disney-fying. But anyway, I've got a little show and tell of my own here.
Put it away, teacher.
I was gifted this. This is the entire complete classic manga. This is Ghost in the Shell 1.0, 1.5, and 2.0, all collected. It is from Dark Horse, I believe.
Yay, lesbian robots.
Hey, but you know what? That lesbian scene is not in this book.
What?
No, it's not in there. This is where it would have been, I think. But my understanding is Shirao actually had that cut on purpose from all the American releases. But I have Japanese copies, so I actually have, the good pictures of it. But you can see, yes. It's pretty nice, huh?
I will not stand for the erasure of my LGBT brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's on nice paper. It's not like this is not super glossy or anything. It's still paper, but I mean, even the colors look okay. They're not super saturated. They're very much similar to the original.
Most mangas printed pretty cheaply, so it's probably closer to the original. In
Yeah.
all honesty.
Well, I mean, like all the weekly comic books that you get in Japan for manga are printed on newspaper.
Yeah,
So.
British comics used to be.
But this is really nice. This particular book, not only is it huge, I mean, right here, there's the finger joint test for you. Show you how thick that is. Like 2 finger joints. That's how thick it is. This thing is 41% off right now at Amazon. So this is probably a good time to snag it if you have some extra cash laying around and you want to revisit Ghost in the Shell. Now, I mean, me personally, I kind of think Shidao has kind of become a bit far up his own ass right now. But his early stuff is great. Appleseed is getting a reboot. I mean, it's getting a new anime. So, you know, this is a good time to get into the Shirao-verse, I guess you could call it, even though, you know, they're not really connected. But that was pretty cool. And this other thing is really cool. All you game guys out there are going to like this. After, I don't remember how long ago I ordered this, thanks to Ironcaster, this finally showed up at my house.
Yeah. Mine must be coming along then somewhere.
Uh-huh. And it's about 1 finger joint. I have not even opened it yet. I'm going to do that here so we can take a look at it real quick. And hopefully not carve up my book in the process with my extremely sharp knife that will cut through cardboard like butter. Don't ask me how I get them this sharp.
You expose them to my cutting wet.
No, I just use a sub-micron grinder that, you know, sharpens them down to the atomic level.
That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Look at how rich that color is on that cover, though. Isn't that great? And that's like, boy, that's like the blackest of the black.
So that's the Tokyo Conception one, is it?
Uh-huh.
There were different variants, weren't there? I think that's the one I ordered.
Yeah, this is the Tokyo Conception. And
Which sounds more like Black Tokyo to me.
it does sound like Black Tokyo. I know the author of Black Tokyo personally. I've met him.
Yeah.
But you can see it's nice. It's got its own system from what I remember. I think I got a PDF of this somewhere.
It's giving me Tristat Guardians of Order layout flashbacks.
Well, if I can get the camera to stop fighting with me here. You can see, yeah, strength, magic, vitality, agility, luck. And it looks like it's all additional points. So it looks like it's simple point-based. It does have fate points.
Mm-hmm.
Basic attacks, which have a percentage. Power targets. So this was going to take a little time to learn. And yeah, it's using an MP cost system for skills. This will be a fun one to play. Are you planning on running this when you get your copy?
At some point, yeah, once I get my copy.
Okay, awesome.
And if it doesn't suck.
You know, that's always the thing. That's, you know, you buy something premeditatively thinking, oh, this is going to be so cool. And then you try to get it to the table and you either find out that it's more difficult than you thought or your players just aren't into it.
Yeah. Fantasy Star really disappointed me.
I mean,
yeah, I'm hoping this is a bit more. I mean, this one looks like a bigger book with more background information and stuff.
I haven't looked. I mean, like I said, I just opened it.
Yeah.
Right in front of y'all. Okay, credits are on 307. So
around 300 pages.
Yeah, it's about. Let's see, about 305 pages, I think, of info.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
No.
It's a pretty good sized book. It looks like it's pretty nice for the money. The illustrations are sharp. It looks pretty well laid out. Oh, look at this. This is some CG. A lot of CG here.
Guess they're
I wonder-
taken from game models. Or...
Yeah, I think they're probably taken from the game models. I haven't played Persona in a while, even though, yes, I own them, but I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think I got the tracking update for my copy getting mailed out.
You should be getting it soon if I got it. I heard Witch Queen is also getting her copy.
Well, T-shirt, I think it means you might have to just go ahead and run a game of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to get Grim to do it. I'm going to get Grim to do it first, and if I like it, then we'll see. But I'm going to stick to Ashes Without Number for now. We got one of our players back finally, so don't know where DOS has been. But okay, let's get on to something I've actually been kind of salivating and frothing at the mouth to talk about for a while now. Let me find it. Where did I put it? Yes, here we go.
Drink.
Now, okay, this is the latest trailer for Fist of the North Star, and it is coming out in 2026. A lot of people are really not happy that they chose computer graphics to do this in because they are very, very afraid that it is going to be like Berserk 2016 and look that terrible. They also did Fist of the Blue Sky, and they did all that in CG, and it does not look good. This doesn't look bad, but you can definitely tell it's CG, but it looks passable to me. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, it's got all the good violence, so it matters to me. Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. I think Grim will see. That is bad anatomy. Think?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not good.
That's a dick neck.
I'm not talking about the dick neck, but look at the way his arms are compared to his chest and stuff. It's kind of like it's like what? It's like he skipped chest day.
Well, we can't because the video's not on the screen anymore.
What?
I don't see the video. Oh, it's not for me.
Oh.
There we go.
You see how it has kind of like that? I don't want to say it's stuttering, but it's like it kind of lacks fluidity, and I guess it's because it's computer graphics animation.
The way it's doing the tweening, I think.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, it's a little annoying. It's not enough to make me hate on this yet, though. Especially when I saw some of the other stuff, but. It does seem to be pretty faithful. Devil Reverse. God, he looks cool in this. He was just a minor opponent for Kenshiro, really, but he's such a memorable villain because we never saw anything like him in the manga after that. Hey, William Sova. I love this. They finally show you Shin, and they tell you who his voice actor is, Koji Yusa, and he sounds great. Okay, this is something I pointed out a couple of times already. Shin never called his moves in the manga. And in the years since the manga was published, of course, they've had video games, they've had spin-offs, they've had all kinds of other things. Shin's fighting style actually got named when it wasn't ever named in the manga. But his style is the Nanto Southern Eagle Fist. Or the Lone Eagle Fist. I'm sorry, Lone Eagle Fist is his fighting style. And now he's actually calling out his moves. Nanto Hazan. That's his power slash attack. That came from one of the video games. And it was in the comics, but it wasn't, he didn't call it. It wasn't named. They're actually adding that in. And I'm fucking loving this so much, man. I can't believe it. I love how much it adds to the series. Senshu Geki. That's Nanto Strike of 1,000 Dragons. Yeah, that's in there. Or it's actually, the real translation is Nanto 1,000 Dragon Head Attack. Like basically each one of his hands are like little spears that are like basically dragon heads biting at you. But I love that he's calling them now. That's great. And I'm kind of wondering what other kind of cool stuff they're going to put in that was either omitted or it was discovered later on in the manga or in the years since it was published have been listed. So and that is Nanto Gokuto Ken. The name that was removed, that was renamed in the original anime because they were afraid it would be an insult to the Burakmin butchers. And then, of course, Kenshiro is using Hokuto Defensive Fist. I don't know when this is coming out exactly, but damn, I'm so excited for this. And you guys are like speechless.
I'm happy for you.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Well, you're gonna watch it, Ironcaster.
Yes, I will watch it. I just don't have these. I don't have the same passion to Fist of the North Star that you do. Is all.
That's true. That's true. And you know what? My videos are doing well. Here's a shocker, though. Do you know who is viewing most of my videos for Fist of the North Star?
Fist of the North Star fans?
The
Yourself?
Japanese. The Japanese. Yeah, because we can tell where most of the traffic is coming from. It's people in Japan are watching my Fist of the North Star stuff now. And when they put the new videos and stuff up, mine tend to be the next one in the series that is in the playlists. So I'm super excited, and we're gonna have more videos coming out here in 2026. Yuda is scheduled to go up next, and that one will be different just because Yuda is a really weird character in Fist of the North Star, and he was a template for a lot of other characters in other anime, which honestly I could say that about a lot of Fist of the North Star characters. The fun thing is when you go back and you're that versed in Fist of the North Star lore with all the characters, you start seeing them in other people's mangas and other people's animes, and you're just going like, he's supposed to be based on Souther and all this other stuff, you know? Like, they never say explicitly that Geese Howard from SNK is based on Souther, but damn if he doesn't look a whole lot like him.
Are you getting Japanese troll comments now? Shallow Westerner, the American mind cannot hope to comprehend but 1/1,000,000th of the majesty of Fist of the North Star.
No, actually, I haven't. Most of the comments I've gotten have been really positive, and I'm happy for that. But I also got one other cool thing that popped up in my radar today, in fact, and I'm quite excited about this one. Also, speaking of SNK,
someone, please help us! Wait, is that?
Yes. Kenshiro is coming to Fatal Fury City of Wolves.
With the exploding heads?
I don't know. Ironcaster, you're muted.
So now you have to play through the game again. Now you're going to have to play through the game again.
It's a fighting game. You play through it all the time. But now I'm going to be able to play Kenshiro and beat down all the Fatal Fury characters. Which, I don't know how they're going to explain why Kenshiro is so much weaker than he should normally be. Because honestly, it's like... I hate to sound like, that super duper fan person, but...
Sure you do.
Well, I mean, if Kenshiro walked into any other fighting game, be it Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Fatal Fury, whatever, he could easily dominate and destroy every single other fighter in the game, bar none, just because he's that powerful. I mean, the fact is that he's got, Suishin, which lets him copy everyone else's moves after he's seen them. So, but yeah,
maybe time travel really takes it out of you.
And Driving and Dragons, the Fist of the North Star video series is some of your best work, and you could easily build a whole channel on it. Well, thanks, man. I actually have been considering building a whole channel on it. I really have. Maybe when I get to the end. Huh? What?
I would say it's probably worth doing it because you are going to have... The fact is, you are going to have people who only want to see that and don't necessarily want to come over here and see us nerd out about comic books and Dungeons and Dragons.
That is true. And some of my friends like Animane have been really successful with video channels that only had one thing on them, and that was like Starfire. He made a YouTube channel all about Starfire, and that got monetized and caught on super fast.
Yeah, boobs will do that.
Yeah, well, that is a cool character. People like that. We need subtitles for Ironcaster.
Oh.
Well, Daniel, I wish you were here, dude, because you're probably going to want to talk about this next thing. But anyway, we've had some positive stuff. Here's something that may or may not be positive, but I have a list of the movies scheduled to release in 2026. Major film releases, including highly anticipated sequels, live-action adaptations, and new projects from acclaimed directors. Let me see. Hang on a minute. Let me just move a few things around, and we'll just share screen, because that's the only way we can ever do this. So, okay. We have January, March, 28 years later, The Bone Temple. I don't know why the 28 Days Later franchise is trying to make such a strong comeback. I've heard they've actually got another one past The Bone Temple that they're getting ready to go.
Yeah, and that's supposed to be the one where what's his name from the original is back as a character.
Mm-hmm. So. Mercy, sci-fi still throwing Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. Don't know about it. Scream 7. Because, yeah. The Bride, which is another reimagining of The Bride of Frankenstein. I'll be curious to watch it.
There's also a Dracula movie coming out
Yes.
within this little part that we can
Uh,
also.
You're jumping the gun, but yeah. I saw the previews for that, and it's being done by Luc Besson. And frankly, I don't like the guy they picked to play Dracula. But I guess it's too late for me to bitch about it, huh?
Hey,
Project Hail Mary?
Nick Cage was a surprisingly good Dracula, so you never know.
You never know, but I mean, have you seen the guy?
No.
He's kind of ugly, but Luc Besson always has a penchant for casting people with interesting faces.
And his cinematography is very good. So
yeah, it is.
Yeah, visual feast.
Super Mario Galaxy movie. I mean, it's going to make tons of money, but it is a follow-up. It is a sequel.
Yep, and it is going to make buku bucks, and it'll probably want to be the first movie I see this year.
I could see that. There's a biopic of Michael Jackson, Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm not even going to bother. Toy Story 5 because they have to keep milking that shit. Supergirl with Millie Alcock. I'm not going to watch it.
It's one I'm almost obligated to see, and I'm going to hate it. The only reason anyone should see it is ultimately going to be for Lobo. But ultimately, the problem is, it's basically just a James Gunn Guardians of the Galaxy movie.
Uh-huh.
He didn't direct it, but he's giving notes to it. He's the head of DC Studio.
Right.
It's effectively his movie.
Effectively.
But also, before that, we also missed the Masters of the Universe film.
Dude, you keep saying these films. I haven't even got to the end yet.
But if we're going down the list of stuff that's in these months, I'm like, hey, we're kind of missing some big movies in these months.
I don't see how we're missing all of them, but let's see. Oh yeah, well we stop at July, December, so this is the end of my list. But we have Moana, which the only reason anybody's going to go see it is Dwayne Johnson. But I wonder if he is as big of a draw as he used to be.
No,
I don't think so.
If he's the only actor in it as sort of the big name, it won't do nearly as well because he seems to be more an ensemble actor. That said, though, Moana was really popular. It's probably going to do fairly modestly. I'll probably guess around $700-800 million.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man: Brand New Day with Tom Holland.
Probably the biggest movie of the year.
Yeah, I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I love the Spider-Man movies. I just do. I mean, and the last one was so good. So
I love how they can't tell Tom Holland anything because he spills it in interviews.
Yeah,
it's just charming.
It is. Resident Evil, a reboot. I will watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it in the theater. The last reboot they tried to do was Welcome to Raccoon City, and that was abysmally bad. I mean, I've seen 1980s films that were way better than that and looked way better.
If they treat it like they've treated the game remakes, kind of almost as its own thing, and they keep it nice and gritty and don't go over the top too much, that could work.
Well, the thing is, with a Resident Evil franchise, when people put the movies out, people expect the movies to be like the games. It's a really simple concept. It's like, okay, 2 stars teams are sent to investigate the Arkley Mansion because of, whatever's going on over there, right? First helicopter crashes, so the second one comes to go check out and see what happens to them, and then they get trapped in the mansion, and then you get Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine and Barry Burton and Rebecca Chambers all trying to survive. And look I remembered all those names right off the top of my head. Didn't even have to look them up. That's how big a fan of Resident Evil I am. Trying to survive a mansion full of zombies and biomutated monsters and traps and bullshit. And that's what you want to see on the screen. You don't want to see like a brand new reboot from director Zach Kreger, Resident Evil, starring some diversity hire chick in an all-new streaming series.
Well, after a while, people just wanted to see Mila Jovovich be hot. And that was like all the movies existed to do, T-shirt.
I mean, that's... I was a fan of Resident Evil, and honestly, that's the main reason I kept watching those movies in the theater was because I wanted to see Mila Jovovich do stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There were some good set-piece fights, but it lacked any coherence. But
Yeah.
so did the games, so it's almost a feature.
Yeah, I mean, it was totally incoherent. It really doesn't weave together very well. But
you remember when they had a whole plot about cloning Mila Jovovich as being some super enhanced human based on T virus?
Yep.
And then we had to suddenly write out thousands of clones all being killed off for another movie and act like that never happened.
Yep. Yes, I remember. Caster, I own every single one of those movies, and I've watched all of them about 6 or 7 times a piece.
But
frame by frame.
Audience.
And let me tell you now, if I had those on videotape, they would have acquired damage at all the spots I was pausing to look at Mia in a certain pose. Anyway, I hope it's good. I honestly do. I want to see a good Resident Evil series. The Netflix show was god awful. Welcome to Raccoon City was god awful. I have hope that this one will be good. I have hope, but not a whole lot. Because Capcom really seems to enjoy just flushing all of their IPs into the toilet and seeing what floats back up to the surface. AKA, look at the new Street Fighter movie coming up.
I think it's going to be fun.
I mean... I heard Gary Nerdrotic and all of his crew, crowing over it and how cool they think it's going to be, and D-Day Cobra and everybody, crowing over it. And I'm like, I just want to tell them, like, you guys don't love the game like I do, I guess, because I didn't see very much of anything in that trailer that made me want to see it. I mean, they were saying, oh, David Dastmalchian, he's going to be great as Bison. I'm like, what? But I mean, it's pretty obvious that franchise is just going to go straight 100% cornball, and people will like it, and it'll get a sequel, and I don't know. The universe will rotate on regardless of how I feel about it, and that's just the way it is.
People hated the original movie, but now it's like a bad movie classic and utterly meme-worthy. So yeah, the same thing might happen.
I 100% think that is because of Raul Julia, because he made that movie. But
it came from an era in which they were all just cheesy, and that's frankly what I'm seeing with Street Fighter. I'm seeing the potential for that cheesiness able to come through. That we're sort of tapping back into that 90s vibe.
Yeah, but I absolutely hate the casting for Dan Hibiki, the worst. That was a horrible, horrible choice. Anyway, we had the Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping, yet another Hunger Games thing, and now it's a prequel. Aren't you excited? Avengers Doomsday. That's going to be the cameo movie from hell. It's going to be almost 4 hours long. I'm sure it'll make a ton of money. I want it to be good.
It's going to be the movie in which all your favorite characters come back as parents who have their kids stolen and then die. Yeah,
that's kind of how I feel about it. Doomsday is going to be their brand new way to reboot the universe.
See, Doom is just about my favorite Marvel character.
Oh, yeah. He's a great villain.
And I really want him to be done well because he just hasn't been. Either they've got the right actor in the wrong film or the wrong actor in the slightly better film, but at no point has he ever been portrayed well. I respect Robert Downey Jr. as an actor, and I like most of the stuff that he's been in, apart from Dr. Dolittle, which sucked ass. But I don't think he's right for Doom. But he may surprise me, so I guess we'll see. But so long as they get Doom right, I will forgive everything else.
Fair. I mean, I'm honestly looking forward to it. I can't lie. And then there's Dune Part 3. What?
I need to see what his performance is going to be like before I can even make any sort of judgments on the film. Because he is the pivotal linchpin of the movie, but you ultimately have the problem of the last 5 years of baggage from all these other bad movies that we've basically had to, drag on and pretend like anyone actually gave a flying fuck about Simu Liu as Shang-Chi.
Nah. I mean, and that's the problem, is you got 5 years of back catalog of crap, and now you're suddenly expecting all your old fans to come flocking to this because it's like, hey, it's all your old favorite characters and they're in a brand new thing and it's all the people you like. So I don't know that they're going to get the goodwill from the audience that they want, but I think the movie will still do well. Maybe not as well as they want, but I still think it will do well. Whether there is a good MCU that follows it is really going to be the litmus test for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because if this movie comes out and even if it does, bonzo great numbers, what comes afterwards will determine whether or not the MCU remains viable. Because if they just go back to shitting out, diversity hire film number 12 using a hero that nobody's heard of, it ain't going to go anywhere.
No, I think we've kind of seen the last of that era. The Marvels was such a monumental failure that they have no choice but to course correct. And and as critical as I get of Disney, it does seem like Disney is trying to make some changes. Because you look at casting for Rapunzel, and it's like they didn't try to do any funny shenanigans to change it up for this or that reason. There seems like there is some attempts to try to, go back to part of the course and give people a bit more of what they would expect. Between that and what we saw with Snow White, Disney needs to make some changes.
Yeah, they do. And then there's Dune Part 3, which is Denis Villeneuve doing the third part to his Dune trilogy. I'm not going to watch it. I don't care about it.
Yeah, you're super negative about Villeneuve and Dune in particular. I'm not. I like them.
I'm glad you did. I absolutely hated them. I mean, what they did to Chani in the second one was just like, no. The fact that he chose to portray everybody the way he did in the first and the second one is just like, no. Sorry. It just I don't like it.
I am concerned because this is meant to be the last film in this trilogy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's already done Dune. Now, directly following from Dune, you have Children of Dune, I think, if I've got my order of books right.
And Dune Messiah.
So, yeah. Well, in either case, that is too much book to put into one movie. So I don't see how he can tell the whole story in one movie. Everything he's got left to cover, because he's he's already done Dune.
I think what we're seeing though is probably the truth of it is that Dune, those two Dune movies, unfortunately underperformed probably for whatever metrics they wanted, and they had probably agreed to do further films, but they're probably trying to quietly wrap it up with this one and play out whatever contracts they have to, honor.
I mean, I'm not saying it can't be done. David Lynch's version is perfectly cromulent to my thinking, and he managed to cram all of it into one film that it took Villeneuve 2 films to do. So, it's possible. it's one of those classics like The Lord of the Rings that really deserves to be done fully, properly, and squeezing what he needs to into a third film when he's already done Dune, and this is inevitably like an addenda rather than an extension. It's like making a film of the appendices of The Lord of the Rings rather than The Lord of the Rings. It's a bit.
Oh, you mean Rings of Power?
But
yeah,
actually, Grim, I think you're kind of hitting it right on the head when you bring up Lord of the Rings. I think it's Warner Brothers trying to play off another, do another big epic movie trilogy and try to put it all in that light.
Yeah.
Well, I think he already failed me on the first two, so the third one's not going to get my money. But regardless, I mean, I don't really see where he's got that much more story to tell without starting another duology or whatever, because the next one is what? Children of Dune?
Yeah.
Which is basically what comes right after Dune, and that opens up a whole nother bag of
that
stuff.
took a whole sci-fi mini-series to tell the story. So,
yeah, and they did a great job.
Not bad at all, apart from the appalling CGI, but...
Yeah, I mean, their budget wasn't that big, but that's what I always joke about, is the fact that, if you had given the budget that these Dune films have to sci-fi back in the day to make their Dune adaptations, they would have been the most perfect things that have ever been created, because they were so close to the books in their lore. But Bob says Masters of the Universe comes out in June. I haven't seen enough on that yet to know whether or not I'm going to be excited about it. I know if Kevin Smith walked anywhere near it, I'm just going to walk the other way.
But aside from those, I've got a couple of other movies that I think are at least going to be of note this year.
Oh, Evil Dead Burn?
Yep, there was that. Apparently Super Troopers 3 is coming out.
Oh, sequel.
The fabled Coyote versus Acme is getting a theatrical release.
That doesn't sound interesting, but
apparently Clayface is coming out, which oh dear God, why, James Gunn? What the fuck are you doing? No.
Yeah, it's James Gunn.
Scary Movie 6, the next Jackass movie.
More sequels.
There was one that kind of caught my interest just a little bit called Night Patrol that I think comes out next week.
That sounds like a remake of the original Night Patrol movie.
This one's about vampires.
Oh, okay. Then it might be good. By the way, I forgot. I did not see this because I was on another screen, but Mercurius gave me Australian $1. My only donator ever. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much. This one is going out to you.
Did you know Holland invented chicken and waffles? Really? Before that, you can only get chicken or waffles. But they were the first to put them together. Black people all over the world would be forever grateful to the Dutch for that.
You do know the Dutch started the slave trade.
Those motherfuckers!
I haven't shown that one in a long time. I'll probably end up having to edit it out. But anyway, thank you very much, Mercurius. I appreciate you.
They should get the people that did the Money Supermarket adverts to do He-Man. I just had a quick look at the Masters of the Universe trailer. It looks heavily CG.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I guess you would have to do a lot of CG for a property that is that weird. I mean, it's like if you go back and you watch the cartoons, their landscapes are pretty fantastic. I mean,
for that stuff, sure, but I meant the actors. They all look kind of fake.
Oh, that's not good.
And if a silly advert can get the look right, you would think that a Hollywood studio could get the look right.
Just remember, they hired Dolph Lundgren to play He-Man at one point. Look how that turned out.
Yeah, not Dolph's fault.
No, well, kinda. I mean,
he was a good Skeletor in that, though.
Yes. Frank Langella pretty well stole that show. I saw that in the theater twice. You know that? I was a kid, but Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. Anyway. Oh, let's see. We got anything else on the docket? Anybody else got anything?
I mean, unless you wanted to talk about Trench Crusade.
When's
No.
the book coming out? Film general release?
That's a perfectly good question, but the problem is the book's out of date already.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. That's true. I haven't heard anything new about the new Zombicide Dead Men Tell No Tales set. Grim, have you?
No, or about the TTRPG?
Yeah, the TTRPG seems to be in limbo. I almost feel kind of bad, Grim, because I think they watched our playthrough and they realized that it had problems, and then they just lost confidence in the project completely. I feel somehow responsible for the fact that game never came out.
Didn't they also have a bigger financial problem going on?
It's
Yeah,
possible.
Yeah, they're kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul when it comes to the Kickstarters.
Well, I mean, look at some of the dumbass stuff that they kickstarted. Wacky Racers? What was the thinking there? And plus they did all those Game of Thrones miniatures and game, and I'm just kind of like, you guys know that series is tanking, right?
Well, the problem is they got the license and they paid for the license, and now they have to contractually probably put that up.
But they had other failures too. Like they came out with Army of the Dead Zombicide, and it's like nobody liked that show or nobody liked that film. And I remember they announced it way back when Army of the Dead first came out, and it never released because the show did so bad. I mean, it literally took 5 years before it finally released to Zombicide, and I got my copy of it. But
stay away from Zack Snyder if you want to license anything. He
Exactly. He is the kiss of death for licenses. But although I say that flying in the face of all the Snyderverse fans out there.
Well, I didn't completely hate Rebel Moon. I mean, it's not great, but I love those old cheesy Roger Corman sci-fi flicks, which is to me what it felt like, an updated version of that. But he had licensed out for a Rebel Moon RPG, and then kind of digged them over.
You know what the sad thing is, and I know this is true. If we had this kind of internet presence, if we had an internet with this kind of ability to discourse about things, do you know how many 80s and 90s movies we would be just absolutely hearing about getting roasted left, right, and center? Like, I just went down to my local Blockbuster and got this copy of Revenge of the Ninja, and let me tell you, it's shit. It doesn't even look right. I mean, there's lots of camera mistakes and editing. Instead, we're looking back at it and going like, wow, that's some crazy, cheesy ass 80s ninja movie shit. I love it. I don't give a shit that it's messed up.
Maybe we just need to put more effort into finding things that we like.
I mean, I guess so. I mean, and there's people who are making things that are good. I'm looking forward to getting the Deathstalker movie next month when it releases on DVD.
Have you had a chance to see it yet?
I haven't watched it yet because I don't want to spoil it for when the Blu-ray shows up.
Sisu has a sequel.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I do want to see Sisu too. First one was fun. Although I have to say, Sisu kind of isn't the same. Isn't really a movie I would want to see over and over again. I mean, it's fun to watch once, but it's like after that, it's kind of like, okay. And I think that's the problem.
It's a perfectly good, well-crafted action film.
It is. I have no complaints.
It's the old school.
Yeah, I have no complaints on that score. But there's just certain other films. Oh, I have an idea. I want to pitch it at you two guys and the audience and see what we think. But I had this crazy idea to get a bunch of people on my Discord server. Well, first I need to get a bunch of people on my Discord server. I only have like about 6 or 7 people on my Discord server. But I'd like to get a bunch of people on my Discord server who play 7 Days to Die. And while we play 7 Days to Die, actually screen Night of the Living Dead in the background.
Because it's public domain.
Yeah, because it's public domain. And then the theme would be like everybody would try to, hold off the invading, the zombie hordes, because I play the horde mode going on. While we all try to secure one house. It might be fun.
A nice little farmhouse somewhere.
Yeah, we could do it. We could do it. I love that game so much. But I will tell you one thing, though. I believe this to be absolutely 100% true. You can say I'm wrong, but I truly believe the best part of 7 Days to Die, the absolute most fun you will ever have in that game, is day 1. Because that's the day when you start out with absolute bupkis, nothing. And you have to build yourself up, and you have to go scavenging, and you're weak, and the zombies are hard, and you have got to try to find shelter or construct shelter fast enough to survive the night, because the zombies get worse at night. And for some reason, that particular little game loop there on day 1 is at its peak. Every day thereafter just kind of gets easier and easier. I mean, it's like I recently restarted a brand new 7 Days to Die run. And by the end of day 1, I had a forge going. I mean, seriously, by day 2, I'm hoping to get my workbench set up, but
it helps when you know exactly what you need to do with the game. So to a certain degree, it's contingent on how well you know how to play. You make it too easy on yourself, I think.
And speaking of that, guys out there, if you are 7 Days to Die's fans, contact me at my on X or through my YouTube link, and come play with me on 7 Days to Die. When I get my server up and running, I invite people to come play with me, and we have fun, usually. We don't always get to play on the same map all the time, because I'm constantly updating things and adding new things. But hey, I think I found a good mod that works. The horde mode is really good. I mean, you don't get a horde on day 1, but day 2, yeah, I had a horde stomping through. So that was fun. And Forever Winter is gotten better. I still have problems with the tunnels, but I've actually gotten into a gameplay loop with it now that I'm getting better with it. But now it feels really, really grindy, because I'm trying so hard to get enough money and supplies and gear together so I can start seeing all these cool things like the gun range and the personal living quarters and the water bots and all this kind of stuff. And man, there's so much good games out there, and just there's only so many hours in a day. But anyway, you haven't heard of any new games coming up? I will play tonight, yeah. I will go ahead and fire up the server if you like.
Sure.
Okay. Well, all right, everybody out there in YouTube land, that sounds like a good call to go home. So, shall we sign off for the evening?
Toodle pip.
Thank y'all for hanging out. Tomorrow I'll be running Ashes Without Number. I've already got it all set up. I'm ready to go. So I'm sure Grim will appreciate that.
I will be back to running my games.
Okay. What?
Then we'll swap back and forth again.
Oh. Well, I figured I'm giving you 3 weeks off in a row, and that's pretty good, right?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Yep.
I needed it.
Yep. All right, y'all. Take care and good night. And Ironcaster, say good night.
Good night.
Hey, girl.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.